Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, a little CFL week number 6. Oh boy, we are counting down. Alright, week 5. Let's go ahead and recap that, and then we'll get into week 6. So, first game we had Edmonton versus Saskatchewan. I said Edmonton wins. The line was 7.5. I said Edmonton would cover that, and I went under on the 42.5. Saskatchewan won 12-11. So I got the win. I got Edmonton did cover that 7.5. We were under on the 42.5. Calgary and Winnipeg. Winnipeg was favored by 7.5, and with an over/under of 46.5. I said Winnipeg would win. They would cover the 7.5 and under on the 46. They won 24-11. Ottawa versus Hamilton. Hamilton was favored by 2.5. I said Hamilton would win. They would cover the 2.5 and under on the 43.5. Hamilton won 21-13. And then finally we had Montreal and BC. BC was favored by 6.5. I had BC winning. I had them covering the 6.5, and I had the under on the 42.5. BC actually won 35-19. Maybe my best week ever. Overall, 11-1, 4-0 on straight up picks, 4-0 against the spread. Yeah, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Hamilton, and BC all won. The only thing I missed was the over/under on BC and Montreal. I said under. So 4-0 straight up picks, 4-0 against the spread, 3-1 on the over/under. Again, probably my best week ever. Year to date, 15-4 on straight up picks, 13-6 against the spread, 13-6 on the over/under, 41-16, 71.9%. As good as week 5 was, week 6 could be 1-11. I had those kind of weeks. So any procrastinator knows you never get too high for the good weeks, you never get too low for the bad weeks. They even out over a season. Let's get to week 6. Alright, so first matchup we have the Hamilton Tiger Cats, 1-3, going up against the 0-5 Edmonton Elks. We have East versus West, last in the division. Hamilton scored 19.25 points a game while giving up 35. They are 0-2 at home, 1-1 on the road, while the Elks are 0-2 at home, 0-3 on the road. Net offense, we have Hamilton is 7th, Edmonton is 9th. On opponents' offense, Tiger Cats, the defense basically, Tiger Cats are giving up the 8th most yards. Edmonton's giving up the 9th most yards. So we have some teams that aren't scoring very much and giving up a lot of points. Both teams have given up on the average of 30 points a game. Hamilton is favored by 2.5. There's going to be a little bit of scoring here, I think, but not just crazy because neither offense is over the top. So I got Hamilton winning, covering. I'm going to go ahead and go under on the 42.5. Next up we have first 1 versus 2 in the East, the 3-0 Toronto Argonauts. They're on a roll, defending Grey Cup champions. Can they go back-to-back against the Montreal Alouettes, who are 2-2? The Argonauts are 1-0 in the division, but the Alouettes are 2-0 in the division. The Toronto is 1-0 on the road. Montreal is 1-1 at home. Argonauts got third best offense, 375.7 yards a game. Their defense is giving up the 5th most at 349, while the Montreal is 6th on offense, 316.5. Their opponent's offense, they're 4th, 320.5. I know it's 1 versus 2, but that 2 loss, I know as we get closer to the end of the season, which we just really got started, we're week 6, so we got a long way to go to even look at freaking playoffs. Playoffs? We're not talking about playoffs yet. We're going to talk about that later. But Toronto needs to keep the rolling going here. They're favored by 3.5. I think they're a better offensive team. I got them winning, covering. I'm actually going to go over on that 48.5. They're giving up 40 points a game, or scoring 40 points a game, Toronto is, but they gave up on the average of 23 points a game. Montreal scored 19.75 points a game on the average through the 4 games, but they go to 19. So I could see this game getting a little up there hopefully in score. Next up, we have the best team, 4-1 Winnipeg Blue Bombers against the 1-3 Ottawa Redblacks. Winnipeg is 4th in offense. They're 2nd in opponent's offense. 353 yards of scoring are getting per game. They are 2-0 on the road, while the Redblacks only scoring 16 points a game, but they're only giving up 18, so their defense isn't as bad as their offense. They are 8th in net offense. Opponents' net offense, they're 3rd, 318 yards. The line is Winnipeg 9.5. I don't see anything really from the Redblacks that's going to think that they're going to shut down the Blue Bombers here. So Blue Bombers win, cover the 9.5 and under on the 44.5. And then our 4th and final game, we have from the West, the 3-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders hosting the Calgary Stampeders, who are 1-3. Calgary 5th in net offense, while Saskatchewan is 2nd. Opponents' net offense, Calgary is 6th, Saskatchewan is 7th. Saskatchewan's actually, even though they're 3-1, they've gave up more points, 95, 23.75 a game. And they've only scored 85, 21.25. Same way with Calgary. They've given up 23.25 over on 93 points, and they've scored 78 points, 19.5. But their records are polar opposite. Craziness. So those defenses are pretty close, but the offenses are close but not as close. So the line on this is Saskatchewan by 3. I got the Roughriders winning, covering. We'll take under on the 44.5. So I got Hamilton, Toronto, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan winning. I got Hamilton covering, going under on the 42.5. Argonauts, Toronto winning, covering over on the 48.5. Winnipeg winning, covering under on the 44.5. And then Saskatchewan winning, covering, and under on the 44.5. So that is CFL week number 6. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show as we got pro wrestling, we got NASCAR, we got all coming this week. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leading sports channel content.